everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now I know it's been a while, but college is hard. College is hard and yeah. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna stop giving you content. In fact, today I'm gonna be doing a book review on A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. A brief synopsis in case you don't know what this book is about. This is actually blurb taken from Goodreads. So, for Malik, the Solstasia Festival is a chance to escape his war-stricken home and start a new life with his sisters in the prosperous desert city of Zaran. But when a vengeful evil spirit abducts Malik's younger sister, Nadia, as payment into the city, Malik strikes a fatal deal. Kill Karina, crown princess of Zaran, for Nadia's freedom. But Karina has deadly aspirations of her own. Her mother, the Sultana, has been murdered. Assassinated is actually what Goodreads says. Her court threatens mutiny, and Solstasia looms like a knife over her neck. Grief-stricken, Karina decides to resurrect her mother through ancient magic, requiring the beating heart of a king. And she knows just how to get that heart, how to obtain one, that's what Goodreads says, by offering her hand in marriage to the victor of the Solstasia competition. When Malik rigs his way into the contest, they are set on a course to destroy each other. But as attraction flares between them and ancient evils stir, will they be able to see their tasks to the death? Ooh. So if what I just read sounds interesting to you, I would consider picking this baby up. Now, a couple trigger warnings from the author herself: mild self-harm, emotional and physical abuse, anxiety and panic attacks, parent death, and animal death. Those are the trigger warnings. Before I get into this book review, I'm going to need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell notification so you don't miss out on when I post. And now, without further ado, on to the book review. 2-minute recap in 3, 2, 1. Malik and his sisters are trying to get in Zaran for Solstasia, but some kid snatches Malik and his sister's entrance papers, so they can't get in right now. Now, flashing across, Karina is performing at the Dancing Seal, and she wins the Tome of the Dearly Departed, and in that book, they have the right of resurrection. Now, Nadia still wants to get into the city, and she gets in that city by making a wish, but because of that wish that used magic, she gets taken by a deer and will only be returned to Malik if Malik kills Karina. Now, Kestrel, Karina's mom, who's also the Sultana, now she gets assassinated. Malik becomes the life champion to compete in Solstasia in order to get closer to Karina. Now, Malik is starting to use and accept the fact that he has magic, and the person who becomes the champion marries Karina. So she needs that so that she can do the spell with the king's heart. Now, Malik didn't kill Karina after numerous opportunities to do so. I'm going to talk about that in next moments because that made me very upset. In the catacombs, we end up finding out that Malik is a Oraji Telra, and that all plays forward into the retelling and to why his relationship with Adir is what it is, and also with other characters. And so then the trials happen, and Karina's ex, Buthang Tunde, wins. And now Driss, one of the other champions, gets killed because he ran up on Malik and confronted him about being Eshrin and Malik's powers, like threw him over the balcony, which, I mean, that's on you, fam. And then Farid ends up being evil to resurrect a girl that doesn't want him. Typical. And then Karina escapes from his abduction. Malik traps Adir in his mind because Malik knows his mind and Adir doesn't, and retrieves Nadia from Adir because Adir has been captured in his mind. And then Malik, last but not least, agrees to stay and learn magic under Farid. Boom. Okay, the accidental bump in, okay? Everyone has that accidental bump in their books where like the characters like accidentally bump in. And so like to see it, I was like, oh, cool. Next, I kind of like this new YA trope of being known by another name. So like Malik was known as Adil. And in this bad boy, in the first book, Third of Glass, my girl Selena is known as Lillian. And if you read more of the books, you know there's another name in there somewhere. I'm not gonna tell you about that because spoilers. But I like that new trope. Now, my next favorite moment, once again giving me Apollo flashbacks, is when Khalil gets booed off the stage for reciting a trash poem for the talent portion. Oh my gosh, he was just trying. Oh wow, tough crowd. Next favorite moment is just Malik not knowing his limits. So he goes to Midway, the huge festival, and literally he's just drinking wine with no concern about pacing himself. He's just chugging it. We've gone, what, 3 sentences and he's drunk 5 glasses of wine. So he's just like hammered off the wine, okay, off the Merlot. And then, because he's slightly inebriated, when he defends Boley, I was so proud of him because Boley was an Estrin's servant and they were mistreating him and all these other things. And Malik defended him, but Malik almost got exposed because there was this bickering back and forth. And even though he almost got exposed, I liked it because it was messy drama. And I love messy drama in a novel. I do. Next, I do love how Karina said she poisoned the council to get them to fall in line. It's one of the few moves she made that I liked. In fact, I think it's the only move that she made that I liked. Because so many times, she... But we're not going to get into that. And also, I like how Farid had all the tea. Farid was like, oh, councilman, how's your daughter? Everyone's like, his daughter, but you have only sons, right? Or he was like, councilwoman, how's your gambling addiction? I was like, wow, Farid knows all the tea. Next favorite moment is when Malik finally stabs Karina. I'm like, dude, you're not going to get your sister back unless you kill her. So I don't understand why you're doing all this back and around with her. Kill her. Okay, and although technically Adir didn't give back Nadia because technically Karina didn't die after he stabbed her, I was still proud of him for finally stabbing her because I was tired of it. I was tired of this back and forth not stabbing her thing. Like, dude, you have one job only. And then when he stabs her and then Farid comes out and then Tunde comes out and Tunde's like, oh, word, and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, how dare you come from my queen? I was like, first of all, you were her second choice. The only reason she married you was because she thought she could murder you, someone who she was in a relationship with, more than she could murder a guy she knew for less than 5 days. Relax. Last but not least, I really like the Sinatel commander, and she has fire magic. Like, she's giving me some Beifong vibes, if Beifong were black. Like, that's what she's giving me, and I like it. We're at yikes moments. My first yikes moment is discrimination against Eshrins. We see a lot of examples, but the example that stuck to me the most was when this old man was trying to get his family through to Zoran for the city for Solstasia, and the guard literally beats the old guy in the head. And it's like, no Eshrins allowed, and drags his family back. I was like, wow. Wow. And then next, when Karina realizes that she's stuck in Zoran because her family is what protects the city from attacks from the supernatural, and I was like, why wouldn't you tell her? Like, I was literally at Kestrel, her mother. Why wouldn't you tell her that she's stuck here forever? She's been planning to leave for the longest, and she can't. Like, I feel like you should have told her that before. And then, here's my next thing, okay? When Adir gets Nadia, and Adir's like, you must do something for me, and Malik's like, I'll do it, whatever it is. I was like, why would you agree to a deal without knowing what the deal was? It's just not logical. It makes no sense. What? Next, yikes moment. When Karina, okay, she does this all the time, but when Karina was making a scene after she got inebriated, she literally is in front of everybody at this very important function with all these dignified people, and she's at Farid like, dude, my sister ain't even love you. You need to stop being so down and depressed because she ain't even like you like that, and you're just all caught up with her, and she never even wanted you, and now she's dead. So you'll never have her. Messy. Next yikes moment is when Kestrel gets God, okay? For all this talking in the book about her being like this bomb fighter whose senses are just so heightened and she's using the earth and the plants to fight for her and with her like it's Narnia, only for the assassin to stab her in the back. And in my head, I'm having a Twilight flashback, like, never turn your back on your enemy. All the Sentinels need to be fired, okay? I understand that the Sentinels that were supposed to be in that vicinity were murdered, but, like, what about the guards that are supposed to be, like, on the important people's persons at all time? Like, you don't just have zone guards. Like, you also need people to, like, follow the important people. Like, and then going back to why Karina always has to make a scene. She always has to make a scene. So, like, there's this moment where, like, it's the opening ceremony, and, like, literally she's supposed to wear her mom's gown, and literally, it's like 30 minutes before she has to leave, she destroys the gown, she flings the jewelry everywhere, then she fights somebody at like the joust battle or something, and then she pushes Malik in the water. Like, it doesn't have to be a scene every 5 seconds. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And also, you're a sultana. This is so undignified. This is extremely undignified. And yes, if she were a dude, I'd be saying it was undignified as well, just so you know. And even though it is undignified, it's very entertaining for me. And then, Malik. So, the characters really frustrated me. The main characters, Karina and Malik, frustrated me to no end. But Malik, he always deviates from the plan. So, during the first task, he and his sister agreed, our goal is to win this competition so we have more time. What does he do? He tries to kill Karina. But then, when the time comes for him to try to kill Karina, he's like, oh, now's not the right time to kill her. Oh, now's not the right time to kill her. Oh, killing her? Why would I do that? Oh my gosh, what? Killing her? No, I can't. My next reaction moment is just frustrating because the Citadels, the guards of the castle, do not listen to Karina. She is literally the Sultana. And even if she wasn't the Sultana, because people don't know because not everyone knows that the Kestrel is dead, she is still like the Sultana's daughter. Like, she's still like the princess. Listen to her. Why are you listening to people? What do they know? Okay? Because at the end of the day, who signs your checks? Well, I don't know if they had checks in this society. But at the end of the day, who's the head honcho? Her. I may get roasted for this opinion, but it must be said. I did not like the romance. Karina and Malik falling for each other. Oh my gosh. Like, dude, you have to kill her. So why are you trying to develop feelings? Like, hello, there are so many other people to engage in romantic relationships with, but you choose her, the one person you've been assigned to kill? And then they had this dance at the midway, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's so sensual, so steamy. It was I don't know if it's because my last reads were Sarah J. Maas and Talia Hibbert, but it was I'm gonna need something a little bit more, okay? I'm gonna need a slow burn, enemies to lovers, more than 5 days of interaction. I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling it. My next yikes moment is when Layla is telling Malik that he's acting like their father. Excuse me? You, Layla, have been telling Malik that he's crazy this entire time because he has magic. You've all been just beat to him and abusive, and now all of a sudden you're acting like dad because you only think of yourself. Excuse me? He's the one who's been assigned to kill somebody, not you. Who does nothing. Who shows up late. Oh, she was getting annoying. But then she apologized later, and I was like, yeah, girl, about time. Now, this next statement. Before I say it, I want to say, in no way am I saying, hear me, come closer, come closer. Hear me, come closer, come closer. In no way am I saying that this novel written by Roseanne A. Brown is in any way similar to Goblet of Fire. That's what I'm saying. Now go back. When I read the maze scene, I got flashbacks to the maze scene in Goblet of Fire. Once again, not saying that they're similar because they're not in any way, shape, and or form. But I was just like, they're both in a maze. And they had a moment when like Malik and Tunde were like, we're gonna go for it, just like, you know, when Cedric and Harry did. And look at that. Tunde ended up dead, just like Cedric. I think this is maybe one of my biggest grievances. It's that no action happened. Like, everyone was all yap, yap, yap. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but yet nothing happened, right? So Karina literally says, I'm gonna kill my husband and use his heart to resurrect my mom. And so because of that, she chooses to forfeit Malik, even though he won, and to pick Tunde, because she's like, oh my gosh, I can kill Tunde more than I can kill Malik. And at that point, I'd be so pressed. Like, literally, oh my, if I were Tunde, I'd be so pressed. Like, you're really gonna pick me to murder over some dude you've known for 5 days? Wow. But so here's the thing. So she decides to marry Tunde, but then she doesn't kill Tunde. So what was the point of you quote unquote saving Malik if you weren't gonna kill Tunde in the entire place? Oh, it's just stupid. Like, these people take no action, okay? was the point? You've assembled all these ingredients and you're just not gonna do it now? And you know what? I'm gonna need y'all to get a better villain origin story. Because Farid, it's not it, okay? He literally did all of his actions to resurrect Hanan. Hanan as in Karina's sister. As in Castro's daughter. You literally killed the mother of the love of your life to bring her back. What sense? What sense does that make? And you've killed others as well, just for this cause. And then, oh my gosh, when he told Karina not to say Hanan's name, I was like, dude, that's her sister. But while I do say that, I do think Adir is definitely a better villain. Like, literally, he's mad because his wife, Karina's ancestor, killed his son to make the magical barrier. So I was like, see, take notes for it. That's how you are a villain. That's the origin story I'm looking for. First shake the table moment. Karina, that she didn't like reading. I loved it because it was a nice break from authors writing protagonists that love reading just so that they're relatable to us. So good on her for not really caring about reading. Next, when Malik loses his papers and he's like, real men don't cry. I was like, no, stop. Like, because literally, that's, no, people have emotions. They can cry. Next was Malik's repression of his magic. Like, his family and his village convinced him that he was mentally ill and then punished him. And then his dad left him. And he left him by blaming him by saying, you keep pretending to see these things that you're not seeing. Okay. Ooh. But there is also a slight parallel flip coin side because Karina also has that mental block on her magic after she created the fire that her sister and her father died in. So I kind of like that feature that Brown included in the novel. Next, shake the table moment. Karina's friendship with Aminata, who is her servant. And I first started really thinking about this as soon as Karina was like, I want you to address me as your highness from now on. I was like, can you truly be friends with someone who serves you? Like, that's truly like a power imbalance. Like, you know, it's giving me Rain flashbacks. Lola and Mary, my queen, when she was talking about, you serve me, you are my lady. It doesn't matter that you're having my husband's baby. Shade. But I was like, wow, that was the first time I really saw that power imbalance. But I'm getting off topic. The power imbalance. Don't think you can have a real friendship that way, my friend. I don't think so. Next moment that we're gonna shake the table to is the discrimination against the Eshrins, okay? Now, while I hated like seeing it and witnessing it, I liked that it wasn't all, that Brown didn't do the whole, all black people love each other, because it seems that black people are the only people that have to love each other the entire time, whereas other races can clearly have beef with one another without it being escalated into a race issue. But I digress, so I like that. But like the disrespect and discrimination was crazy. It was like, so you can let the Eshrins nanny and take care of your kids, but they're not worthy of common respect. You can trust them to make your food, but you can't trust them to like do business with them. It's terrible. And then when Karina gets on the table, she's like, this is not what we do. We love each other and we stand for unity and love. I was like, lies. And then the protesters threw a rock at her and I was like, haha, comeuppance. Last but not least, shake the table moment is the whole relationship between Karina and Tunde. And it's because they didn't work out because he wanted to talk about feelings and she didn't want to do that. And I was like, you know what? This is deep, okay? This is teaching people the importance of DTRing, defining the relationship, of establishing expectations and goals. So you don't get your emotions hurt when you enter into something that you knew about from the beginning. Yeah. First thing I want to think about, okay, are Karina's features symbolic of her maintenance of the barrier? Like, think about it. She has silver hair and amber eyes. Like, are her features going to revert back now that the barrier's been destroyed? Food for thought. Now, framing the arc Wasi, okay? I knew that they were framing it, okay? Because why would the sword have the seal? Because the murderer who killed Castro had a backup plan in case he didn't get out. And so why would he leave possible evidence if that's in fact who he was tied to? So it was obviously on purpose. And then when Karina mentions that maybe perhaps They wanted to start a war. The council wanted to start a war. Or now is it that Farid wanted to start a war? And then I also want to say that I thought that Geneva was behind like the whole ploy and murdering Kestrel just because Brown kept mentioning her. I was like, oh my gosh, she must be evil. But no, she was just trying to take over the whole government and rule. I mean, she was bad, but she didn't like kill the Kestrel. Flashing back because of the Kestrel. At the Kestrel's funeral, when Karina like confides in Farid and is like, Farid, there's a possible traitor. And then she in her mind's like, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to tell anybody. But then she's like, but it's Farid. I can trust Farid. When you hear a character say that, no, it's lies. No, it's lies. In my head, I was like, lies. Prime suspect, one now. And last but not least, oh, I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming. How the Faceless King was a deer. I was like, wow. Okay. Nice plot twist. I love it. Okay. So that concludes my book review on A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. But before we go, I do want to once again say that I really enjoyed this book. I thought that it was so descriptive. Like I was reading it and I'd be like, okay, time to get back to watching the show. And I was like, wait, this isn't a show. This is a book. But it was so descriptive. I think the only thing that could make it better is an illustrated version. Like just give it to me. Give it to me now. That's all I want. And then I also gave it 4 to 5 stars just because there were things that like irritated me. Like 1, the romance. 2, Farid and his unnecessary reasons for being evil and all those other things. But besides that, I really enjoyed it, which is why I'm going to read the next book in the duology. I did a poll on this on Twitter. I said, do you want a book vlog or do you want a video? Y'all said y'all wanted a video, so here it is. I've given it to you. Enjoy. And you know how you can tell me that you enjoyed it is if you like, comment, subscribe, and what's that? Click that bell notification so you don't miss out on when I post. See how I switched it up that time? You didn't expect it, did you? Okay. So yeah, that concludes this book review. Now the only thing left to say is bye-bye.